Oh, I think we've still got some people trying to connect.
Oh, awesome. I might just mute myself so there's not too much noise unless you...
Yeah, absolutely. Priya, we've got about 28 people registered today, so I'll just give it about 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I don't even think is Louisa on at the moment?
Yeah, I'll give it a bit of time
and let
everybody connect and go from there.
I'm a few minutes early. I always just, computers. Sure.
Hi guys, I just thought I'd say hi. We'll just give everybody a couple of minutes to connect. We've had a few registrations for today, which is great, a good, strong interest. So I'll just give it a couple of minutes and let everybody connect before we kick off.
Hello.
Hi Louisa, how are you going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
I might just try this from my computer because the phone's not quite working right. I'll just jump back off and back in, okay?
No worries. Hi to the ones who've just recently joined us. We'll just give everybody a couple of minutes. Still expecting a few more people to connect. So just give us a couple of minutes and we'll kick this off soon.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, hello, Kathy.
Hello, how you going?
Good.
That's good. We're just going to give everybody a couple of more minutes to connect. We're expecting a couple of more people to come through.
How are you, Kathy?
So, hello, Connie. How you going?
Thank you.
That's great. So we'll just give it a couple of more minutes to connect and everybody should connect before we kick it off.
No, you're coming in. No, you're coming in.
Are you underwater?
Yeah. We have to pretend we're having some fun somewhere. That is amazing.
It's a great background picture.
What are you doing, Ebony? Are you going to go and do gym? Yeah.
To the ones who've just joined, we're just, hello, how you going? I'm Kathy. We're just going to give everybody a couple of more minutes to connect. I can see some people connecting at the moment. So we'll just give everybody a couple of more minutes to connect before we kick this off.
Is that Catherine in the top middle?
Fabulous. Well, I think we've got everybody sorted. So, hello, it's so great to see faces, isn't it? Hi, it's great to see everybody, and thanks for joining us on another social distancing happy hour. So we've got lots of faces connected, and I see we've got about half a dozen people connected, listening, but not perhaps got their camera on, and that is fine. So we're going to do a quick whip around for everybody just to introduce themselves, say your business and your location. If that would be great, I'll help us do a bit of a whip around our screens. We've got Emily joining us as well. She'll say hi from, wave your hand, Emily, from the TIC SA office. And we've also got Stella joining us as well. So many of you would be familiar with Stella doing lots of audits on the road, seeing you guys. So, and myself, I'm the partnerships manager. So we'll just go around. Susan, do you want to just unmute yourself and say hi to everybody and where you're from, please?
Hi everybody, I'm from Blinman. I run I used to run the Blinman Heritage Mine Tours.
Fabulous. Thanks, Susan. And we've got our lovely friends over in Port Lincoln. Nicole, do you want to just flick yourself on and say hi?
I think I'm on. Is that working?
Yep, I've got you.
Yep. Yeah, hi, Nicole from Clixo Star Charters, and Andrew is wearing his mask and goggles for the photo.
I love your background, nice and creative and getting into character, embracing your product. And Janice, how are you?
Janice, hi.
Janice, how are you?
Good. I'm Janice from the Clear Valley Motel. And cheers, having a nice Clear Valley wine.
Absolutely. Cheers to yourself too. Hi, Stephen. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Steve from Celador Tours, wine tour company based in Adelaide, servicing McLaren Vale, Adelaide Hills, Barossa Valley, and we pop up the Clear Valley as well.
Lovely.
I've got a beer, but that's another story.
No, that's all right. It's liquid. Hi, Tina. How are you today?
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, Tina here from Stonewall Cottages and Vineyards in the Barossa.
Lovely. Thank you. Hello, David. How are you going?
Good, good, good. David Downer from Australian Coastal Safaris in Port Lincoln. I haven't got a beer yet. I'm waiting.
You might have to put out a call for one to be delivered. Great to see another one joining us from the beautiful EP coast. Joe, how you going, Joe?
Hi, sorry. Yeah, Joe, I'm representing Inaminka Hotel, but I'm not there at the moment. I'm sitting overlooking the Murray River, where I've been in ISO for the last 5 weeks.
Oh, lovely.
So, not a bad place to be. Haven't got a drink yet. A bit early. Don't want to tempt fate.
I love it. Thanks, Joe. Great to see you again this week, Michelle.
Hello.
How you going?
Good, thank you. Michelle from Yonder Beach House and now Seafire Beach House, our new product.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Kirsten, how are you today?
Hi, yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Great.
Yeah, it's actually Kristen, and I'm from Under the Mount in Melrose in the southern Flinders, and we have accommodation.
Lovely. Thank you. Sorry, my apologies.
No worries.
And we've got Connie joining us. Hi, Connie.
Hello, Connie from Host Plus, based in South Australia, so in Adelaide. So if anyone has any superannuation questions, please feel free to reach out.
I love
You can always count on kids.
Yeah, absolutely. It keeps it real, doesn't it, with all the challenges we're
Exactly
dealing with.
right, definitely.
So, thanks for joining us, Connie. Hi, Hazel. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. Here, it's been lovely down in Wollonga this week. We're doing well here. We've got plenty of space to isolate and do things around the property, so we're good.
Fabulous. Thanks for joining us today. Hello, Sophia.
Hello, Sophia from Barossa Wine Tours.
Lovely. Thanks for joining us.
Obviously, I don't even say where I'm from. Thank you. I do tours around the Barossa Valley, a one-person operation, and I used to love it, and I still do. So
lovely, and I'm sure when we reflect on this, this will just be a small snippet of time that you perhaps are having a bit of a break. Well-earned rest.
Yes.
Good to see you again, Caroline.
Yep. Hi, everyone. Caroline from Diverse Travel, inbound tour operator based in Adelaide.
Thank you. Hi, Mike.
Hi, everyone. Mike from Pure SA, based in Adelaide.
Fabulous. Thank you. And we've got Pitchy Richie Park joining us. Fabulous.
Yeah, hi, guys. It's Hamish, Pitchy Park in the Flinders Ranges. Just say good day to Sue and to Joe. Good to see you joining, and no doubt speak to you both soon.
Fabulous. Thank you. And good afternoon, Peter. How are you going?
Good, thank you. I think it's me.
Yes.
Yeah, so General Manager at Sea-Link South Australia. So only been with the company since January, and I don't really know a normal week. It's every week's a bit different at the moment. So trying to hang on.
You've hit the ground running, I'm sure.
It's all good.
Fabulous. Great to see you, Peter. Hello, Julie. Oh, we've still got you on mute there, Julie. Sorry.
Yeah, that's my fault. Apologies.
No, that's all right. Lovely background you've got there today.
Yeah, thank you. I thought it was a safe space. COVID-19.
Yeah.
I'm Julie from Adelaide Style Accommodation. So nice to be here tonight. Nice to see you all on board. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for joining us. Now, I can't see you, Joel, but I don't know if you've got the ability to disconnect. To unmute yourself. Did you want to say? Oh, he's well ahead of me and popped it in the chat. So you can see Joel's from Spirit of the Coorong, the Big Duck, and cruise the Coorong in Goa. John, you can feel free to, if you can chat, unmute yourself or pop something in the chat function, and we've got another person connected there too. So that's where we go to next. To be honest, guys, if we could just ask everybody to please press mute. We'll use the chat function to table any questions on the left-hand side of your screen as well, and we'll get started with today. So for those of you who are new to our Zoom call, welcome. We host these social distancing happy hours with a drink in hand every Friday afternoon. And it's a pleasure to welcome back both Priya and Louisa from Hood Sweeney. Many of you might have met Priya and Louisa a couple of weeks ago when they joined us for a call. Hood Sweeney are a trusted partner of TIC SA, delivering accounting and professional services advice to us and our members. They're an SME specialist with a dedicated food, tourism and hospitality team. So since our last chat with Louisa and Priya, we have seen the JobKeeper package go through legislation with some detail landing. So I'd just like to now hand it over to Louisa and Priya to deliver a bit more clarity on the package now that it's been legislated.
Hi, thanks Kathy for that introduction and having me and Louisa speak again at this session. I don't have a wine, unfortunately. I do have water, but that's mainly because I want to be coherent to talk to you guys this week today. Just thought, for those who attended a couple of weeks ago, hi again, and thanks for listening to us again and attending today, because I know these times are really challenging, so I do appreciate time, especially on a Friday afternoon. Before Louisa and I sort of get into it, I just thought I might introduce both of us. So Louisa and I are both leaders of the food and hospitality team at Hood Sweeney, and our clients range from food, hospitality, tourism. We've got some government clients, not-for-profit and retail clients predominantly. And to be honest, in the last 2 weeks, if I had a drinking game saying the word JobKeeper scheme or the JobKeeper payments, I'm very conscious about how this is on everyone's mind right now. It is, yeah, I've been saying that word a lot. So please excuse if I keep going on about it today. So just to let you know a little bit about Hood Sweeney, Kathy did allude to a little bit, but we're a South Australian-based professional services firm with more than 40 years experience. We've been around the block a few times, and we provide 7 diverse service lines. Just quickly, can everyone hear me quite clearly? If there's any problems, let me know. Just thought I'd just check. Okay, cool. It provides accounting and business advisory services. We've got consulting and performance coaching. We've got financial planning. We've got technology. We've got finance. We've got people and culture and consulting. And we've also got branding and marketing advisory. But Louisa and I are both in the accounting and business advisory space, and that's we're here to talk to you today. Just also another quick update. We've got about 130 staff at Hood Sweeney, over 5 offices in South Australia. So we're in Adelaide, we're in Clare, we're in Whyalla, we're in Burra, and we're in Kadina, and we've got about 3,000 clients. As Kathy said, Hood Sweeney is predominantly SA based, and we're really conscious about the segment lines we focus on in SA. So really strong presence in the food and hospitality space, including tourism, agribusiness. We've got a big agribusiness sort of segment, the wine industry, health, and not-for-profits. So that's a little bit about our background. And I guess now I just want to really sort of start off talking about what we're really here to speak about, which is the JobKeeper's payment. We're going to keep this format really casual. This is not like a formal presentation or anything. We don't really also want to, we thought a lot of you guys know what the JobKeeper payment is now, like you've heard about it, you've talked about it, you've discussed it. I guess what we really wanted to do is just talk about the next 2 weeks and the critical actions that need to be done by people. And obviously, as you go, if you've got any questions, we're looking at the chat, so more than happy to take questions as we go. Otherwise, feel free to ask the questions later, because a lot of there's still a little bit of uncertainty in some areas. The legislation came out a week and a half ago. Treasury has provided some guidance on some of the detail of how things work. And there is still a few nuances and some gaps missing, and we'll be honest with you today, if there are still some gaps missing, we'll let you know and our thoughts about that. But I believe, obviously, with the application process starting on Monday, that detail needs to be given to us quickly, or Monday. So just the things we're going to talk about, just a heads up, I'm going to talk about the dates of enrolment and business eligibility, and then Louisa will talk about employee eligibility and also the payments of the 1,500 and timing, and some of the ad hoc extra costs on top of that. And then, like I said, feel free as we go to ask questions if there's anything particular about your business. Otherwise, at the end, we'll have more than time to stick around and have a bit of a chat about some of the questions. Has anyone got any questions at the moment, or I'll just start if no one's got anything? Sounds good. So we're really conscious about the moment. There's a lot of stuff out there about the JobKeeper scheme, a lot of information. And I guess what our job as accountants in our business advisory role is really to work out what's the facts, what's the legislation saying, and not get too caught up in the hype. So we're very aware that if you're getting really confused about what you have to do, we do understand your pain, to be honest, because a lot of our clients that we've been talking to the last couple of weeks, what they're hearing is really different to what the reality is. So we do want, hopefully you come out of this session really understanding what it means to you and the impact on your business, because obviously these are things you have to fund for the next month before you get the recoupment. So as I said, just to let you know, on Monday, the application process starts for the JobKeeper payments. This opens on Monday by the ATO. There is actually a great link. We'll talk through most of this, but there is actually a really great link on the ATO website, which does a step-by-step process. It's called, if you do the enrolment for the JobKeeper payments, it will give you a step-by-step process about what you need to do and by what dates. So just a heads up, we're going to go through that today, but that's just for your information. So I guess there are 2 ways to commence this process on Monday. You either do it personally through, if you've got access to the business portal, you do it that way, or you ask your accountant to do it on Monday if they've got access to the tax agent portal. So it doesn't have to be done by your accountant, you can do it, but you do need to have access to the business portal. So if you don't, or you need to get onto that straight away. There'll be we understand there'll be an application form which will provide guidance on eligibility and also the requirements and what information you need to provide. So the first thing is, as you guys know, to be an eligible employer, you have to have a less than $1 billion turnover, which is a lot of us in this industry. And also you need to show there's a downturn of 30%. Now, how do you show that downturn is the question. So there are 3 steps, because some clients are finding their restrictions happened in the last week of March. So 30% didn't work for March, but we can use that process in terms of for April. So how do we show 30% downturn? 3 timings. The first one is you look at your March monthly results for 2020 and you compare it to your March monthly results in 2019. Again, like I said, your restrictions might have happened in that last week of March, and when you look at the difference, the 30% downturn may not quite work. We had one client we did some calculations for and it was 26%, so they just missed out on that test. The second test though is you can project your April results when the restrictions were in full force, project your April 2020 month turnover and compare it to your April 2019 turnover. And the other one to do is if you're like, oh, we're still sort of doing okay, but we still haven't hit it. The third test is you project your June 2020 quarter and compare it to the actuals of June 2019 turnover. Now, we've been looking into this because we're like, okay, so it's obvious there are ways you can get your P&L, you can get your BAS, you can do all that. But the question is, what does the ATO want to see from the projected amounts? How do we prove what's the projected amounts? Now, I'll be honest with you, we've looked into this in detail and we've looked on the ATO website. That detail actually hasn't come out. So on Monday, when you look at the application process, the detail should be in there because we're not sure at the moment. Is it a BAS? Is it a P&L? Is it just like we've got the numbers up to date? You sort of annualize monthly for the next couple of weeks. That detail's still missing. We were hoping Treasury had that detail provided this week, but unfortunately that hasn't come out. So at a high level, it would be easy to work out whether you've met that test or not, but the actual detail you have to provide to the ATO to prove that hasn't actually come out yet. The only other thing to be aware of, when you're doing these comparisons, it is actually based on how you do your GST. So when you show those numbers to the ATO, if you're doing your BAS on a cash basis, you have to show cash basis for March versus cash basis for March last year. You can't do accruals for one and cash for the other. So that's just something to be aware of when you're looking at your 30%, because there are some comments saying, you know, we had a really strong month, we got some debtors and stuff paid, we didn't meet the 30%. But if you can show it in April, again, it's cash versus cash or accruals versus accruals. So you do need to do like for like. The good thing though that we have got confirmation this week, which was a little bit unsure a few days when the legislation passed, once you pass the test, when you apply for it and you pass the test, you only have to pass this test once and it will go for the next 6 months. Where the problem, we had some clients going, oh, we actually think we might turn around in June. So do we have to keep applying every month for the business eligibility? No, you just have to apply once. And then if you're eligible now, you're eligible for the next 6 months. The only other thing just to be aware of is we are conscious, I mean, obviously a lot of you guys have said you've been in business for quite a few years. There might be a couple of you guys that haven't owned the business for a full 12 months. So the way the ATO is asking for that, it's at commissioner's discretion. Sorry about that. Commissioner's discretion. But at the moment, we don't know the format of how they want that application. So what do they want to see? So the Commissioner of Taxation will determine if you're eligible, if you haven't been for 12 months. Is there any?
Priya, can I just interrupt?
Yeah, sure.
Peter, I'll address your query when I jump on to talk, but I've just noticed Susan's query about your downturn.
Sure.
About it being 29.5%. Does that count as 30%? That's a good question. I would say so because it's a rounding issue.
Yeah.
However, have you looked at April from a, because it doesn't have to be March, it can be April from a forecast position as well. So maybe start with April 1st. Are you still trading? No, lost.
Lost Susan?
Not sure if she's still there, but
yeah, I was going to say, feel free to unmute yourself, Susan, and have a chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would probably recommend starting look at April as well, because if you're if you're closed or you're forecasting that you're going to be more than 30% down, that's an acceptable test as well.
And just one other thing on that, as Louise said, if you don't meet March, you can meet April. There are 3 tests you can do. The other thing is, if you find for March and April you're just not meeting, you can apply for the JobKeeper payment in June. It doesn't have to be done today. You have, if you don't meet it straight away, you can apply again. Is there any other questions about income eligibility and how that's going to work? Anything that you guys have been dealing with yourself and just going, oh, I just wonder how that's going to work for me? Okay, Louisa, I might let you jump on and talk about the employee eligibility, if that's okay.
No worries. So once you've established that you are eligible, the second step is to have a look at your employee eligibility. So we've started actually doing this for a few clients just today, so it is very fresh in my mind. So basically full-timers and part-timers will qualify if they're still employed with you. Now with the casuals, I saw your question, who is eligible and what is regular and systematic? So I've actually got a bit of a definition here. A casual employee is likely to be employed on a regular and systematic basis where the employee has a recurring work schedule or a reasonable expectation of ongoing work. So it's not just about the hours worked, it's about the reasonable expectation of ongoing work. So a clear pattern of roster hours, you know, like if it is a seasonal business, and you know, that's just the way your business is. So there are times where you've got more employees, like more casuals working compared to other periods. That would still be classified as regular and systematic because it's based on your business. However, I would suggest if you had a casual that worked for 2 months and then didn't work for 6 and then maybe came on for another month randomly, that might not be as regular and systematic. Does that answer your question, Peter? Maybe muted as well. If you've got another question or a comment, you could just maybe pop it into that comment, the chat box. The first payments for the JobKeeper will come through by, I believe, the 14th of May. Yeah. So my understanding is that it's all happening within the first 2 weeks. So everybody should, if you've filled in the applications and you fall into that first period, my understanding is by the 14th of the following month, you'll receive it for the prior month. Yeah. In terms of what an employer has to do for this employee eligibility, so basically you just have to look through your employees to determine which ones are eligible or you believe to be eligible. You can't pick and choose employees. So if they are all eligible, you have to apply it for them unless they are getting it from someone else or, yes, they receive like some type of Centrelink benefit. What we've sort of established for our clients is a bit of a spreadsheet so that they can record the details of their staff, whether they're eligible, whether they've filled in nomination forms, because there is a nomination form that your employees must prepare and provide to you. Now, just to give you a brief overview of this nomination form, it's pretty basic. It's the ATO has prepared it, and it's available on their website. And basically all your employees need to do, or yourselves, if you are an employee of your business, is pop in their name, their date of birth, their address and their contact details. But then they have to agree or disagree to be part of the JobKeeper scheme. And in terms of when they're agreeing to it, it's basically listed out. It's ticking off that they are currently employed. They were employed as at 1st of March. They are at least 16, they're Australian resident or they hold a special visa. They're not currently receiving parental leave pay or dad and partner pay, and they're not currently on work cover. So in terms of our casual getting a Centrelink benefit, it depends on what kind of Centrelink benefit it is. Do you mean that they're already receiving like the job seeker? Susan? Yeah, they are. Yep.
No, not a job seeker. It's a disability benefit.
Right. Okay. But are they
allowed to work? They're allowed to work some hours.
Right. Okay. that might be something a little bit different that has to be looked into, because as long as they're not receiving a JobKeeper payment or a parental leave payment or dad and partner pay or on workers' comp, they're the three that are coming through that would make them ineligible. But I'm not sure about that disability one.
Okay.
So what you need to essentially do is give this notice to your employees. Now, what the ATO has also said is that as an employer, you need to send out a written notice to say, you know, I, Hood Sweeney, I'm choosing to, I'm eligible for the JobKeeper scheme, and please find attached nomination form to prepare and fill out. So you have to notify your employees that you are doing this. It needs to be in writing, because obviously we need to make sure that everyone's employees know that this money's coming through. Then they'll fill out that nomination form and they'll send it back to you, and you just keep that on record. Once the application is done, like the one that opens on Monday for the JobKeeper, there's going to be monthly reporting required on those employees as well. So let me just have a look.
So I'll ask some of the questions that are appearing in this chat. So for you, Louisa. So Pitchy Richie Park's asking, is there any back payments to the 30th of March?
Yeah, correct.
So that payment anticipated about the 14th of May, will that be back paid?
Correct.
Yeah, perfect.
So it's always in arrears. So what will happen is the May payment will be for 30 March to 30 April. The June payment will be for the month of May. So the ATO will always pay you 1 to 2 weeks after the end of the month for the prior month. Does
that make sense? Fabulous.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, we've got a couple of questions around, obviously, do directors who are employed by an LTD company, and obviously people who operate a partnership as well. So have you got much clarity on that, Louisa?
I'm not actually, I don't know if Priya said anything on partnerships, but certainly with a sole trader, with a company and with a trust, if you don't have employees but you work, like that's your job, it's just you're not drawing a physical, you know, a pay-as-you-go withholding wage, you can definitely apply. So with the sole trader, as long as you're not employed anywhere else getting JobKeeper from anyone else, you can apply. For a company, you can select one director or one shareholder. So if you've got multiple directors or multiple shareholders, only one is eligible. And the same
with the partnership, Louisa, too.
Same with the partnership, so one partner. Yep. And then with a trust, it's the same. It's one beneficiary can receive the can apply for the JobKeeper.
Fabulous. Any more questions? People can feel free to unmute if you've got any couple of more questions in relation to directors, partners.
I just saw Tina's question about, are you sure that it's an all-in basis? Yeah, we've been asked that a number of times and we've checked it. Basically, it says, no, the employer can select which eligible employees will participate in the scheme. This one-in, all-in rule is a key feature of the scheme. So we've got clients who have like 15 casuals and they're going, can we pick and choose which casuals? Unfortunately, once you've made the decision, the others you do need to terminate them.
Okay, so
all your casuals.
So in regards to my casuals, I could choose which of those casuals I wanted to put on JobKeeper, and then if I didn't put them on JobKeeper, the ones that I don't put on JobKeeper, I have to terminate.
Yeah, it's not a pick and choose situation.
Yeah.
Okay, it just seems crazy to me that, for example, I've got one casual who over the last quarter earned an average of $81 a fortnight. So she's doing hardly any work at all.
So you'd be letting them go.
Yeah.
Because they're going to bet, like they're going to get $1,500. But so that in that instance, they can go and apply for the job seeker themselves. But it's a little bit of it, because you have to fund this payment up front for 4 to 6 weeks. You really need to be, if you do need to pick and choose, you need to keep on the ones that, you know, can still work or you want to. The others you do need to let go, because or else you have to pay for them.
Yeah.
And that's ridiculous. $81 a fortnight to be having to carry $3,000 essentially.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a question on that then too? You said, are we, once we put them on this JobKeeper scenario program, are we able to actually get them to come and work?
Yes.
Because I'm getting people say, oh, you don't have to work on the JobKeeper though.
No.
You don't have to, but if the work's there, we encourage that they're working. Yeah, the difference would be is any employees that are working less than this $1,500 a fortnight. So if they work hours less than that, you're only required to pay super on the hours they work. So you don't necessarily have to pay super on the full $1,500 if they haven't worked a fortnight with $1,500 worth of hours.
Yeah, okay.
But we would definitely be encouraging that if there's work to be done, they work.
And that's the incentive. That's the incentive a lot of our clients are saying. Is saying you're getting the 1,500. The more hours you actually work, you're getting the benefit of super. You're not getting the super on the 1,500, only on the amount you work. So that's actually incentivizing people to work.
Yeah, good point. And can I just ask a question on working on JobKeeper? As I understand it, Fair Work Act allowing you to get that person to do work that other than normally would be under their normal job description. So
I think as long as it's reasonable.
Accommodation and vineyard. So at the moment we've got no cleaning for our cleaners. However, we will be coming into pruning season where there'll be pruning work and vineyard work that they will physically be able to do. So are we able to get them to do other work and gardening work, grounds work, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so we've got a client who's got a restaurant and they don't have their waiting staff, and obviously don't need the waiting staff. Those guys have been delivering food and doing all that sort of stuff and cleaning. So yeah, we've checked that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Janice, I think some of my casuals have already applied for Centrelink. Do I have to nominate them? No, if they've applied for Centrelink, you don't. They can't have both. It's one or the other.
So do I just ask them then? Have they already applied?
Yeah, you need to confirm with them. So that's why we suggest that you review your client, you review your staff that you want to do it with, and then you contact them, because they have to, in the end of the day, you have to say, I'm going to do the JobKeeper program. You have to give them a nomination form, which I've just put the link into the chat box. They are the ones that have to tick off that they're eligible to receive it, yes or no.
And then in that form, they have to sign off. They're not getting Centrelink payment. They're not getting this. They're not getting it from someone else. They've only got one JobKeeper. Just another thing though, too, for those people, because I know some of these decisions to get rid of casuals are hard. Just keep in mind and let your staff know. And again, they'd have to talk to their financial accountant or whatever. But for some clients, we've said their casuals actually have an ABN, so they don't have the work or anything like that for them, and they don't have the funds to fund it. But they're telling their casuals, you've got an ABN, you can potentially become a sole trader and get it through yourself. Keep that in mind, because I know these decisions are not always easy, especially for casuals you've had for a long time, but you legitimately can't fund it.
Janice, I don't believe the form for the directors is out yet. I haven't seen anything. I think it's coming through hopefully on Monday with the application. My understanding is that if you're not employed, but you're the director or you're the sole trader or you're the partner or the beneficiary that's going to apply, you'll receive that $1,500, but you're not having to withhold tax from it. Whereas with your staff, you'll withhold tax from that $1,500 payment.
And can an employee refuse to come into work if we put them on JobKeeper?
I wouldn't think so. I think that's a HR issue, but I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Because technically they're still employed, so as long as it's a reasonable task, they still need to do
because they wouldn't be doing their normal job. Like, will the cleaners would be doing spring cleans or cleaning out fridges or cool rooms or something like that?
Yeah.
And just another thing to be aware of, you do need to let your employees know that if they're not doing the right thing and they're not considered eligible, this is a month by month thing that you have to work out. Do you want to keep these employees? So we've got clients who are going, they're not very good at their job, we're going to keep them, but if they decide to not rock up or not do things, next month we're not going to, say they're eligible employees. It's something that you have to review month by month.
What if I'm a company and was paying myself a part-time or casual wage? Yes. So if you were paying yourself a part-time wage, you would be eligible. If you were paying yourself a casual wage and you haven't been doing it for 12 months, as long as you're a director or a shareholder, you would still be eligible. Stella, no, they can only get one or the other. You can't have JobKeeper and Job Seeker. Would they be required to notify Centrelink? Yeah, I believe so. And the Job Seeker's a little bit less, I believe, the payments. So they'd be required to pay it back. I would say that they would have to pay back the job seeker. But yeah, it is a bit of a tricky situation because you don't want to be getting this money for these staff and paying it to them and then find out they've done the wrong thing, and that you have to pay anything back and then having to deal with the staff to get that money back or whatnot. So I think that's why it's very important to be clear up front that you're going to roll with this scheme. You know, you need to know whether they're eligible, and that onus is on them, and that's why they must prepare and fill in that nomination notice and send it back to you. So you've got a document from them. You know, it's a binding document that they've said, yes, I am eligible, or no, I'm not. So it does fall back onto them.
Sorry, Louisa, the eligibility on the JobKeeper form was just that I'm not receiving JobKeeper from anyone else. It didn't say anything about job seeker payment.
Yeah, that you definitely can't. It's one or the other.
Right.
Yeah, because job seeker to be eligible for job seeker, you can't be employed. So if they're receiving the JobKeeper, they are employed, whether they're working hours or not. They're employed. So
they changed the. Sorry, this is my understanding because we've all gone part-time, us TIC SA staff, and I was able to apply and get approved for job seeker because I'm considered to an extent unemployed, having lost hours due to COVID.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of the grey area because they're still part-time, but we want to apply for JobKeeper. So I just want to make sure I'm not doing the wrong thing by saying that I'm eligible.
Yeah.
So when you work part-time,
it says you can't be on JobSeeker or Centrelink. So that is something, I can't open that form, Louisa, sorry. Sorry, I'll just grab the form.
That's okay. I can
it's on that.
It definitely is one or the other. So potentially the job seeker might be okay if your business isn't getting JobKeeper.
Yeah.
But you definitely can't get both.
Yeah. Would you wait until the JobKeeper is approved, that application, before cancelling the other?
I don't know enough about how the Centrelink stuff works from the job seeker perspective. It might be something you need to check with them, but remember that the JobKeeper, once approved, backdates to 30th of March. So any job seeker payments you've already received for this current month then might become a payback. But I'm not sure how Centrelink are handling this, and good luck getting them on the phone.
Yeah. And when you sign off the form that you're an eligible employee, the onus is on you to say, I haven't been seeking job seeker. So I would be a little bit careful about that. Yeah, because check,
and so just moving on to Paul's question, again, it's talking about that termination of an employee. So one of his casuals works elsewhere, so it's not eligible for JobKeeper because they're not the primary, because he's not the primary employer. Do we need to terminate him? And what are the conditions around long service leave? Because if a person has accrued a large amount of long service leave, what are the conditions around that one?
My understanding would be, because they've said that they're not eligible because they're potentially receiving it elsewhere, you don't have to terminate them because they're just not eligible. So you have to include all eligible employees. If you've got other employees listed that say, look, I'm not eligible, and sign off on that, you don't technically have to write them off. You don't have to terminate
so you don't
them.
actually have to terminate them.
No, because they're not
eligible.
They're not an eligible employee. Is that what you would think, Priya? Is that what you're understanding?
You've got a pool of eligible employees, like a pool of people, and you're trying to work out, I only want to give it to some, but keep the others on and only pay them $300 versus the $1,500. If they're all eligible, you can't pick and choose. In that case, that guy's clearly ineligible.
Yeah.
So you can
Perfect. Does that help give you some clarity there, Paul? Feel free to unmute yourself if you want to.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And yeah, we'll just keep moving through these questions. So Mike, does the JobKeeper payment, is it considered as an accessible business income?
Yes, it is,
Yeah.
but then you get the deductions for the salary and wages.
And then if you're a sole trader or the director of a company, you're not actually getting it as a wage, it's assessable as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And then sort of just going back to another question Paul has in regards to his tour drivers doing some work which is not productive for us, that keeps them involved. They will still need to pay super on the hours that they are working.
Correct.
That's correct, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. So you've got a correct understanding of that, Paul.
Yeah.
What dates do we have? Oh, okay. Actually, that's a really good question, Michelle.
This is going to be confusing.
Yeah. So normally it's $1,500 each fortnight. However, the ATO have provided a bit of a haven for the first month. So what they've said is as long as you've paid $3,000 in the month of April to your employees, you can do it all in one go. If you have to, if you're waiting till the end of the month, that's acceptable. In relation to the beneficiaries and directors, etc., you don't have to physically pay that money, because more than likely it's your money, it's in your company, or it's your, it's in your trust, so you don't have to physically pay that money out to yourself.
Fabulous. Does anybody else have any questions similar to Michelle's about the payments and the dates? Feel free to quickly chime in whilst we're on that topic.
Yeah, it's Janice here. I've got the JobKeeper employee nomination form here. Section C, employee eligibility requirements. There isn't actually a section saying that they're already receiving funds from Centrelink. There's only one saying you're currently not receiving parental leave, and one, you are not currently totally incapacitated. But it doesn't say anything about already receiving funds.
As in from the job
it's job seeker. Sorry, Louisa, apologies.
Yeah.
You go.
No, I was about to say, are you referring to the job seeker?
I'm looking at the JobKeeper nomination form.
But are you, as in, so I don't know if, yeah, I'm actually not sure why it's not on there, to be honest.
Because very clear you can't have both.
I'm just trying to see if there's anything on the Centrelink website about this.
Yeah, because it's definitely from, on the ATO website. Sorry, I'll just get that up.
Because a lot of my casuals, they weren't working a lot of hours, and I think they've probably gone to apply to Centrelink for their funds.
Yeah. So I'll just.
Yeah, I want to see it written by them somewhere so I can show you guys, but it's definitely.
Yeah, I'm just looking that up too. Sorry, guys, keep asking questions.
While Priya's looking that up,
yeah.
Can they nominate? Are there or will there be applicants for JobKeeper that apply but will get knocked back? Yeah, I would say so.
Sorry, Louisa, with that, does that get addressed with that first point that, somebody couldn't get the job seeker if they were still currently employed by the employer?
Well, that's what I would.
That first point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my understanding, but apparently if your hours have been reduced, potentially you can get the job seeker, which is what was being said. Here we go.
Sorry, I'll just on the ATO website, there's this thing called Step 5 for eligible employees, and this is where we've been reading it. If you're receiving or in the process of applying for a Services Australia income support payment like job seeker payment, contact Services Australia and let them know that your employer has applied for the JobKeeper payment. If you do not report the income or cancel your job payment, you may incur a debt that you will be required to pay back.
I've just put that link on for you guys as well to that.
We had heard that it wasn't on but it's definitely saying on the ATO website currently, and they're the ones who are processing all this. So just be aware of that.
And look, it might not be on the ATO form because people that are receiving the job seeker, they would have certain criteria that they had to tick off on, and because they would have to report to Centrelink on a fortnightly or monthly basis to continue receiving their payments. So what I would suggest is one of their reporting things may have something to do with JobKeeper. But that's on the employees. That's on them. Can they nominate for JobKeeper as it is higher than the job seeker? Yeah. So what I would think is any of your staff that are currently on the job seeker, if you're introducing JobKeeper, I would think that they'd be better off taking that. But that's up to them to report then to Centrelink that they're now receiving JobKeeper.
And they just have to keep in mind, because I don't know the full detail, because obviously we're not Centrelink people, but you just got to be careful that it doesn't stuff up any other benefits like family tax benefits or anything like that. So before they make that decision, they do need to be informed based on their other, you know, as a family tax benefit or something like that. There were some issues around that. So just sort of so before they make the decision, they need to like confirm that they're not going to be worse off.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to help you out here with some of the questions. So what about the tax on the JobKeeper payment? How does that work?
Yeah, it just needs to be processed through your payroll system as a normal wage. So I think on the $1,500 a fortnight, it ends up being about $1,300 and something net. So yeah, it would have to be processed unless you are that sole trader or that company director that doesn't normally draw a wage. So if you've got a payroll system because you're already paying the staff, actually on that's a good point. If you are using a system such as Xero to pay your staff, Xero are actually in the process of implementing some back-end stuff to make it easier to report the JobKeeper, because there'll be monthly reporting. They're in the process of setting up some back-end reporting so that I'm assuming you add a new payroll category for JobKeeper and you'll be able to separate out for staff that maybe working some hours or not working some hours, how that will work. And they've said that information should be coming out shortly. But if you do use Xero, and I'm assuming MIBE might be doing something similar, if you are using Xero, there's actually a whole article and there's some detailed instructions on what how they're helping for COVID-19, how that's going to change in the payroll.
So we might be got a lot of questions.
How does a second director claim job seeker? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm just confused because you say only one director or limited company can claim JobKeeper.
Yeah.
But you can only claim job seeker if you're unemployed, but the second director is technically employed.
But if they're not drawing a wage, then they might not be, they might not be employed. But I'm not sure, again, from a Centrelink point of view, I know they have relaxed the income and the asset tests, but I'm not quite sure to what extent they would be eligible to get the job seeker.
And there hasn't been much commentary how that works. So
they may be eligible for neither then.
The second director, yeah.
Oh my, yeah, okay.
Yeah. If it's a husband and wife situation, it's probably a bit easier. But if it's two unrelated company directors, it could be a little bit more complicated because the person who is receiving the JobKeeper will have to report that income. So you don't want to say, oh, we'll get the 1,500 and split it half because that other person's not going to be getting taxed on it. So Okay, the way they've tried to do it is so that where there are a lot of companies in Australia where it's a mum and dad business, so that's a mum and dad director, they don't want them to get two lots because a lot of the time maybe only one of them is working or just from a double up perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, thank you.
Behind it, yeah.
Starting dates. It's basically from when you register. So it'll depend on, it depends on when you register, what period you register to start from. So you'll be able to opt in. So if you register from Monday, my understanding is if you register next week, you can backdate to the 30th of March. But if you want to wait another month, you just wait to register.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Fabulous. And so how does it work on months where there are only limited pays?
What do you mean by that?
Oh, like 3 pays in the month.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was wondering that. I haven't personally seen anything on that. They just talk about a fortnightly. So yeah. That's a really good question, and I haven't seen the answer for that one yet.
No, and I haven't seen any detail around that. It all talks about weekly or fortnightly.
Absolutely, thanks. One thing I will let everybody know is on this call is if there are any queries that we haven't got the detail in yet, and as Priya alluded, there is still getting a little bit more detail landing on Monday.
Yeah.
Hood Sweeney kindly offer a complimentary 1-hour consultation to all TIC-SA members. So I just encourage anybody, if they're wanting and seeking a little bit more detail, especially after, as we said, it lands on Monday, I'm going to email everybody on conclusion of this call today to let you have the contact to put you in touch with Priya and Louisa at Hood Sweeney. So I'd really encourage you to look to take those conversations offline and and wait till there is those sort of the kinks ironed out, because there is obviously so much detail to this, and it all needs to be ironed out a little bit more by the sounds of it.
Yeah, and again, with the timing of the payments, I believe that should hopefully, when we work through the application form, they're going to ask you things like like your bank account details and all that, and the pay structure then. So if it is monthly or that we should be able to get some answers on that.
Just going back to the 3 pays, my personal gut feel is that if there was a period with 3 pays, you would get those 3 pays done, because the ATO are making everyone fall on the same fortnight, and they keep it is a per fortnight, it's not a per month payment. So my understanding would be, my gut feel will be, if there is 3 fortnights in that month, you will get 3 lots of $1,500 per employee. Yeah, again, with the starting of the payments, I'm pretty sure you nominate which period you want to fall into. So if you do apply next week, my understanding is they're going to take you back to 30th of April, but it will depend on when you prepare the application.
Yeah.
Just helping you out again, guys. So does the ATO view eligibility as the business or the individual? I'm wondering what might happen if a couple happens to have 2 distinctly different businesses, but they've both obviously been impacted and experienced the downturn.
If there's individual entities, individual ABNs, they would both be eligible. If they're operating out of the same entity,
by ABN business,
yeah, so if they're operating under the same structure. So Michelle, is it a case of 2 different ABNs and 2 different entities?
Yeah, just feel free to unmute yourself, Michelle.
Sorry, I couldn't find my button.
That's okay, Michelle, thanks.
Yeah, two separate entities.
Yeah, if it's 2 separate entities that are both trading, like running a business, and they both have got ABNs, then most certainly, yeah, you'd both be eligible if you meet the eligibility criteria.
Cool.
Yeah, we've got a few clients that potentially have multiple, or they do. I know I dealt with one today. They have 3 businesses all within the same ABN. So in that case, they're only eligible. All their employees are eligible because they're all under the same ABN, and they have had a downturn by 30%. But there's 2 trusts, there's 2 beneficiaries, so only one of them, and they're not husband and wife, they're not related, they're friends. So only one of them can get the JobKeeper, but all their employees are covered.
So if you have 2 different trusts and 2 different ABNs, they're 2 different, even though it's the same couple.
Yeah.
It's still eligible.
But you're running your own businesses, so yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Fabulous. And I had a little bit of a chuckle from the backyard universe. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
It just says that the payments will commence in the first week of May. So whether they'll do it over a week or over a fortnight. So my understanding is they have to make the payment by the 14th of the following month.
Yeah.
So I would think that over that 2-week period, because people will have to upload, eligibility and confirmation of details, I think that it would just be spread over a 2-week period.
Yeah.
But yes, it's going to. I'm very curious to see how it's all going to work because it's being administered by the ATO.
And especially with the cash flow booster happening at the same time for the first time this month.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting challenge, and if you try and call the ATO, good luck getting through. I'm sure. They're administrating both.
Fabulous. Now, wow, this hour's just gone incredibly quickly, hasn't it, guys? Is there any more questions people want to quickly pop up? Or, as I said, I'm going to message everybody at the end of this and connect you guys with Hood Sweeney if you'd like to have any conversations offline. But, yeah, feel free to...
Yeah, sorry, I was realised that.
Yeah, sorry, just looking at the chat as we go along too. So yeah, feel free to pop it in the chat. Like we've just had another one. So do you have to start payments from the 30th of March, or can you start second fortnight?
Again, I think it just depends on when you pop your application in. So if you apply next week, I dare say it'll be from the 30th of March. But I don't know. I haven't seen the application yet, so we might have a bit more information on that on Monday when we start doing some applications.
Yeah.
It might ask if you want to choose a period within that first month, but I haven't seen the application yet. Sorry.
Fabulous. Any other questions anybody else has in relation to this? Feel free to pop it in the chat or quickly unmute yourself. You're more than welcome to have a quick chat.
Can I just ask something very quickly?
Sure, Michelle.
Is JobKeepers completely separate from, say, the South Australian government's done this 10 grand emergency cash thing?
Yeah.
They're entirely separate, aren't they?
Yeah.
One isn't contingent on the other or anything like that?
No, but with the state government $10,000, that emergency cash fund, I'm pretty sure the eligibility states that you have to have employees. So if you were just a sole trader running your own business and you're eligible for JobKeeper, I'm not sure that you'll be eligible for that 10K emergency fund because you don't have employees as such.
And just on that, because a lot of it, I think there's a little bit of misunderstanding about the timing of that. This is just a separate discussion. So at the moment, if you're thinking that you might be eligible, you can register your interest for that state government 10K. Application process hasn't started yet, and we're not sure when that's actually going to come. You've got till the 1st of June 2020 to do it, but that payment of 10K is not till post June 2020. So I know a lot of people going, we need the cash now, but if you do apply and you're successful, there is still a few months before you get that 10K.
Yeah. Tina, that's a really good question. And Priya and I discussed this morning. So if you actually go to the Return to Work SA website, all it says is we are currently working through how work cover is impacted by the JobKeeper. So they don't know. So we don't know.
So we've only got super confirmed how that treatment is at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like there's a little bit more detail that probably is going to land on Monday. And anybody who's got queries on that, you guys will have the contact details for Hood Sweeney. Just, please get in touch with them. It's really important to, that everybody's really clear on this. So we all are. The importance of getting it right the first time is super important. Tina just did say, could you ladies quickly re-clarify on the super situation for us?
Yeah. So if you've got employees that are still working and receiving JobKeeper, you are required to pay the super on the hours that they work. However, if they work less than that $1,500 a fortnight, you're not required to pay super on the full $1,500. So this is where it's very important that MyOb or Xero or whichever payroll system you use, it is being separated out so you're capturing the right super. If they earn more than $1,500 in a fortnight and they're still working, you'll just pay it on, it's basically on their hours that they physically are working.
Fabulous. And cheerio just to a couple of guys who've just jumped off as well. Thanks for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. Fabulous. So if there's no more questions, I'll just might take this opportunity to thank Priya and Louisa again for their time today and their expertise on this topic, because I know for myself, I've learned a lot, and I couldn't imagine the crash course you guys have both had in the last couple of weeks on trying to clarify all this messaging that is coming from the government. So we really massive appreciation to both of you for joining us today. Like I've said throughout the session today, I will put you all in contact with Hood Sweeney, very generously offering us that complimentary 1-hour consult for our members. So please don't hesitate to get in touch with the guys at the team. We use Hood Sweeney ourselves at TIC-SA, and yeah, love them.
Thanks.
I am just going to quickly flick over to Stella. I think we're just going to take a couple of more minutes of your time just to update you all on a couple of the programs TIC-SA is delivering at the moment. We've just had obviously we've launched a couple in the last couple of weeks that you guys would be, one of this is our Zoom call that you're privy to and our online business resilience program, but we've got a couple of more landing next week. So I'll flick you over to Stella and she can quickly give you some clarity on some information on that as well.
Yeah, so for those who aren't aware, all of our accredited members now have a Review Pro account that is free for them to activate and is an added inclusion of their membership with us. So if you haven't yet activated your Review Pro, please feel free to email me and I can set that one up for you. And any who have got Review Pro but want to learn a bit more about its functionality, we are hosting an online webinar with Review Pro on Tuesday. So that's Tuesday next week, being the 21st at 10 a.m. So I'll be sure to just pop the link to that session in the chat along with my email as well for anyone who needs to have their Review Pro account activated if they are accredited. And of course, I can assist you in achieving accreditation if you're interested.
So for those of you who don't know what Review Pro is, I joined the TIC team in October last year, but I've got 20 years experience in the industry as an operator in the accommodation side of things, and I lived and breathed Review Pro. It's an amazing part of your membership, and basically it's like an online channel manager for your reputation. So it pulls together all the review sites, quite similar to if anybody uses a SiteMinder or a channel manager for your other third-party sites, but it helps you manage that online reputation in one location, and it's fabulous. There's a whole lot of metrics and reporting you can get out of it. So particularly in this time as we're moving to digital assets are vitally important, even more given the world we're operating in. I really encourage you guys to, if you haven't claimed your free Review Pro account and you are accredited, get on board. And even if you haven't, still join us on the webinar because it's a part of your accreditation, and it would just be really great to familiarise yourself with the benefits. And as I said, I'm a huge advocate for it because I've been in your guys' shoes, and it's been very, very important to myself and working on the operator side of things. So encourage you to be involved on that webinar next Tuesday. Is there anything else on your front, Stella?
We are offering at the moment free enrolment into additional levels of the Quality Tourism Framework. So those include EcoStar, which is an additional level of QTAB and signifies just a commitment to ensuring that you've got minimised environmental impact. And then also our China Ready module is also now free enrolment for the current period that we're in. So China Ready, just all about getting ready for the Chinese market on the other side of COVID-19.
Fabulous. So if any of you guys have any questions on that, feel free to reach out to myself or Stella. You'll get my contact details if you haven't already got them after this session via email. So I'll wrap it up here because the time's gone super quick, but I just wanted to thank you all. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to spend your Friday afternoon with us. And I'm just going to take a little bit of time now as we sign off to share some words that were delivered to me this week and really resonated. And something just good for us to reflect on the positives. But success is not a possession, it's a constant achievement. For now, success will most likely begin with a small achievement, followed by another, and then another. And it's those small steps that we're all going to be taking. It's the new beginning. So let's continue to encourage and be encouraged. And I think this forum is a great opportunity for that. And one small step at a time, we'll get through this together. And I want to thank you guys for your encouragement and support. Really appreciate coming together on these calls. So thanks, guys. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll be delivering another topic to you next week.
Well, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
See you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Like guys, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.